stores and 9 hay stores for better produce storage and distribution. Extension services have reached 5 million farmers with 79,776 trained at agricultural training centers across the country. Counties have also shown support for agriculture in investing 27.2 billion, which constitutes 6.9% of total county spending. Dear Kenyans, on arid and semi-arid lands and disaster risk management. In the period under review, severe flooding, droughts, landslides, and disease outbreak profoundly impacted multiple counties, causing widespread displacement, infrastructure damage, and livelihood disruption. Our data highlights the following key points: that we had 315 total fatalities, injuries were 188 across the counties, displacement 291, set up across 25 counties for displaced persons. Schools which were affected were 1,647. Health facilities that were damaged were 64 health facilities across 12 counties, and wash facilities which were damaged were 5,306 across 20 counties. Agricultural damage to the crops was for 298,673 acres, while 9,637 livestock were lost across the counties. Driven by the commitment to protect lives and livelihood, counties were able to put in place response measures as follows. They mobilized resources to provide emergency relief to affected households, benefiting 51,282 households. Immediate steps were taken to repair and restore damaged infrastructure. For sustainability of the above, 62% of the counties have enacted a Disaster Risk Management Act, 48% of the counties have a disaster risk management policy, and 74% of counties have an operational county emergency operational plan, and 32% of counties have allocated the mandated 2% of their annual budget to the county emergency fund. Livestock vaccination and health. Counties also undertook extensive livestock vaccination campaign to prevent disease outbreaks following the floods and the droughts, with over 2.9 million livestock vaccinated across several counties. On lands, housing and urban development, transport and infrastructure. In the period under review, 3 county governments approved their county spatial plans, making it 18 counties with approved county spatial plans. In addition, 11 counties have their draft plans at the respective county assemblies undergoing approval, while 21 are undergoing preparation of the respective county executives. Additionally, 28 extra counties have established functioning GIS labs, bringing the total to 37 counties. On matters roads, county governments currently manage 182,000 kilometers of total road network in the country. 70% of these networks are in fair condition, and county governments endeavor to ensure the percentage increases to at least 90%. To achieve these goals, counties have tarmacked 2,156 kilometers and graveled 12,842 kilometers of roads in the financial year 2023-2024. In collaboration with the national government and in a bid to eliminating informal settlement in urban areas, 33 county governments are participating in the implementation of the second Kenya Informal Settlement Improvement Project, with 88 settlements benefiting from security of tenure and 95 benefiting from the infrastructure upgrading. In line with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda on affordable housing, county governments have signed intergovernmental memoranda of understanding with the national government, in which the counties have identified land for comprehensive planning and affordable housing projects implementation. On matters energy, in the period under review, 46,779 households benefited from clean cooking technologies, up from 13,581 in 2022. 4,000 street lighting infrastructures have been installed across the counties. 503 renewable energy projects have been implemented, where 33 counties are utilizing solar power for street lighting, mini grids, backup power in hospitals and in water pumping. In seeking to expand their presence under the Function Electricity and Gas Reticulation and Energy Regulation, counties are keen on working with the state agencies such as the Rural Electrification and Renewable Energy, REREC, in implementing the matching fund program so that the more and more remote areas within the county can benefit from the electrification projects. On trade, industry and cooperatives and enterprise development, in the year under review, 117 new markets were constructed in 28 counties, recording 35% increase in the number of markets constructed within the year. Additionally, 113 markets were renovated in 34 counties. However, this was a decrease by 34% from the number of markets renovated in the financial year 2022-2023 due to the clawback on this on the county function. By the end of the financial year, 36 counties had successfully automated their business registration services, simplifying the process of SMEs to formalize their operations. Additionally, 30 counties had implemented electronic unified single business permits, effectively streamlining registration procedures, lowering fees and expediting licensing processes. Consequently, the number of businesses issued with trade licenses increased by 32% to record a high of 506,855 enterprises registered within the financial year. In addition, county governments have facilitated access to finance by SMEs, with at least 32 county governments establishing county business enterprise funds and other financing programs to support SMEs. In the financial year under review, counties engaged in investment promotion initiatives that included establishment of the county aggregation and industrial parks in 42 counties, with construction of necessary infrastructure at an advanced stage. 2, setting up of 28 gazetted special economic zones, with 9 of these zones being gazetted, including Riwa, Rivertex, Premier Foods Industry, Mount Elgon Orchards, International Controls, Michel Courts, Freight Kenya, Kingsway Industrial Park, Sagana Agro Industrial City, and Rock Plant SEZ. 3, the establishment of business incubation centers and innovation hubs to support startups and small businesses in counties such as Isiolo, Kiambu, Kisumu, Makueni, Meru, and Nairobi. Fellow Kenyans, in tourism and wildlife, 17 counties have enacted tourism acts, 10 counties have established wildlife acts. These legislative measures provide clear guidelines and regulations essential for promoting sustainable tourism practices and wildlife conservation. Narok County stands out for its proactive conservation efforts, having developed comprehensive conservation management plans to protect the Masai Mara ecosystem. These plans are not only aimed at safeguarding wildlife, but also at ensuring that the benefits of tourism are equitably shared amongst local communities, thus supporting both conservation and local economic development. Dear Kenyans, on natural resource management sector, over the period under review, counties established material recovery facilities, increasing the number of facilities from 53 to 62 on various scales. 15 counties have sanitary landfills in place, an increase from 12 counties in 2022-2023. There was also an increase in waste recycling companies from 187 to 243. Nurturing strong natural resource governance is a priority for counties, and it is on this premise that in that period, under review, 29 counties developed environmental policies and acts, 35 counties developed solid waste management policies, 45 counties enacted climate change-related acts, and 37 counties developed water-related policies, and 18 counties enacted forestry-related acts. In the nascent blue economy sector, the blue economy presents a significant opportunity for sustainable development, with various counties enacting blue economy acts to manage fishery and aquaculture. Training and skill development programs in the blue economy sector are crucial for equipping individuals with the knowledge and expertise required to manage and optimize marine and aquatic resources. Based on this, there are 257 registered students taking up training, acquiring skills in blue economy, with Kisumu County having registered 100 students, Kwale County 50 students, Bungoma County 24, Kilifi, Mombasa, Taita Taveta counties 20 each, and Kisii, Busia having 13 and 10 registered students respectively. These students are registered in the county TVETs, BTCs, and the Bandari Maritime Academy. Effective management and regulation of fisheries has also resulted in the licensing of approximately 15,571 fishers across 34 counties and approximately 6,235 fishing vessels. With regard to pre-primary and vocational education, in the period under review, pre-primary enrollment grew by 2.22%, with 2.8 million children enrolled, achieving gender parity, with 1.4 million being boys and 1.426 million being girls. This progress highlights our commitment to equitable education access for all children. To maintain education quality, 74,557 teachers were employed in pre-primary centers, with county government employing 48,895 and private providers providing 25,662. In gender, culture, social services, youth and sports sectors, in the financial year 2023-2024, county governments allocated over 918 million towards gender programming. These funds were used for gender-based violence prevention, policy development, sensitization programs, and the construction of rescue and safe shelters. A total of 14,056 people, including 7,760 women, benefited from the AGPO program across 47 counties, and 34 counties have implemented gender-responsive laws and policies. Additionally, 234 women now occupy key executive positions at the county level, reflecting a progress in advancing women leadership. For sports, counties allocated 3.8 billion, utilizing the funds to develop sports facilities such as fields, playgrounds, sports complex, community grounds, and the stadium, purchase equipment, and sponsor youth participation in tournaments. 1.19 billion was allocated for social services, focusing on providing devices for persons with disabilities, supporting the elderly, and tracing and reuniting street children. In the legal and intergovernmental relationship space, the intergovernmental relations in our devolved dispensations are conducted through various high-level meetings between the national government and county governments, or are amongst county governments. In the financial year under review, the National and County Government Coordinating Summit was held on 18th December 2023 to address key issues like the transfer of functions, asset valuation, and the road maintenance levy fund. The COG has held 5 full council meetings to address issues affecting counties. On the implementation of SDGs, in 6 years, the sun will set for the implementation of the Agenda 2030. Kenya is amongst the community of nations that has adopted a set of indicators derived from the overall 17 goals. With devolution, delivery of public goods such as water, healthcare, roads and early childhood development and education and extension services, it is in the hands of county governments. A majority of the county functions listed in the 4th schedule are directly linked to the SDGs, and consequently, devolved units stand at the center of the SDG implementation. In collaboration effort with the State Department of Economic Planning and backed by the UN agencies such as UNRCO, UNDP, UNFPA, IOM, UNICEF, the COG has successfully conducted 4 county engagements. These engagements were designed to deepen the understanding of Kenya's prioritized SDG indicators, acquaint stakeholders with the voluntary local review and voluntary national review processes, and capture best practices. As such, 17 county governments, namely Bungoma, Busia, Elgeyo Marakwet, Wajir, Homa Bay, Kajiado, Kakamega, Makueni, Mombasa, Narok, Nyeri, Taita Taveta, Vihiga, West Pokot, Baringo, Kilifi, and Embu conducted VLRs in the last fiscal year and subsequently generated reports. These VLRs were incorporated into the voluntary national review that was presented at the high-level political forum in July this year. On peer-to-peer learning, under the financial year under review, our Knowledge Hub Marifa Center published the 5th and 6th editions of the Compendiums for County Innovations and Best Practices, documenting 46 impactful success stories. We have conducted 2 workshops for knowledge management champions and established a database of 31 champions. Peer-to-peer learning forums have been organized for executive directors and executive committee members across sectors. As at the 2023 Devolution Conference held in Uasin Gishu County, COG launched the Devolution book. This publication, which can be downloaded at the Marifa Center portal, commemorates a decade of devolution in Kenya, offering valuable insights and reflections on the journey and impact of devolved governance in the country. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, Excellency Governors, devolution remains the cornerstone of our governance, aiming to be a catalyst for transformative service delivery and equitable development across the country. As demonstrated in the address, counties have made remarkable progress in critical sectors such as healthcare, education, roads, environment, and water and sanitation services. Despite these achievements, challenges such as clawback on county functions and delayed disbursement to counties threaten the full realization of devolution. My plea, as we implement the devolved system of governance in this 3rd cycle, is that we all work together towards ensuring that the people of Kenya enjoy the full dividends of devolution as enshrined in Article 174 of the Constitution. To borrow from the words of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States of America, we can say that county governments are of the people, by the people, and for the people. Consequently, as governors, we are committed to investing in the success of devolution for the present and future generation. Let us continue to champion and protect devolution, building a more inclusive, responsive, and accountable governance system for all. I thank you.
Let us give a chair a round of big applause. Thank you, Your Excellency. Allow me at this juncture to invite a video on the legacy of the COG executive team. Please will be played on the screen.
Following the general elections held in 2022 and in fulfillment with Sections 19, Subsection 2 and 3 of the Intergovernmental Relations Act of 2012, the Council of Governors held the elections on the 17th of September 2022 for the chairperson, vice chairperson, and the whip and the council committee chairs. This was the first COG executive team to be elected in this third cycle of devolution. It comprised of Her Excellency Anne Waiguru, His Excellency Ahmed Abdulahi, and His Excellency Stephen Sang, all who were unanimously elected and all who served for 2 years. This video highlights the achievements of the executive and the committee chairs in the last 2 years.
What it means to be a chair of the Council of Governors is, first of all, it's not a rank position. It's just first amongst equals. All governors are at the same level. They're all elected in their counties, and so they choose one of their own to provide leadership for a period of time. It requires a lot of engagement with colleagues. It requires you to work mostly with committee chairs, the secretariat, and other stakeholders to ensure that the objectives of devolution are achieved. I remember my colleagues telling me that we are not electing you because you're a woman, we're electing you because you're a good leader. And that was very humbling. But having said that, it was another broken glass ceiling for the women of Kenya.
I would describe our tenure as being extremely transformative in many ways. And we've achieved a lot. And the data speaks for itself.
We all appreciate that the Council of Governors operates not just as through council meetings, but actually primarily through committees. We have seen many committees undertake their responsibilities. We have achieved a lot of engagement with various development partners, with various stakeholders, with the national government, with primarily Parliament, both the Senate and the National Assembly, through the active participation of committees.
We have managed to do certain things that are very critical to devolution. One of them, for example, is the process of unbundling of devolved functions. It's taken us 10 years of devolution to actually get to a place where we have actually managed to unbundle. One that follows with what I had mentioned about the unbundling of functions is the ECDA program, because that function was actually devolved without any costing or any unbundling. And during my tenure, we have managed to do that. It has been costed and estimated that early education costs counties about 22 billion shillings a year. Another achievement has been the strengthening of devolution through increased resources. We have managed to increase the resources that were allocated under the equitable share to county governments from 370 billion shillings in the year 2021-22 to now 400 billion. Despite the fact that we are still waiting for the new CARA that had been approved before we had the challenges with the finance bill. But outside of the exchequer, during my tenure, we have increased resources by 137% in conditional grants.
For a very long time, we didn't have structured engagements with our development partners, but the Resource Mobilization Committee managed to organize. I think we have had 2 sessions with development partners. I think that this is also one other committee that presents a good opportunity for the council to engage with the development partners and ensure that we co-create programs together with the development partners, so that whatever it is that comes out of our engagement with development partners is something that county governments and the council has given input.
We've had a very good, in spite of challenging times, good working relationship with the national government. So we have taken intergovernmental relations to a different level. We've been through a lot as a country in the last 2 years. But in spite of the challenges in the economy and in the political space, we have tried our best to resolve intergovernmental disputes and issues as cordially as possible. And we moved or inch closer to getting a closure on the issue of completing the unbundling of functions and consummating the transfer process.
We had a very successful devolution conference in Eldoret, which had over 8,000 participants, provided again a framework for sharing information, getting people to know the successes of devolution, and also engaging with stakeholders, development partners, non-state actors on how we can continue improving service delivery at the local level. During the devolution conference, we also introduced the Devolution Warrior Awards, and we gave awards to people who we recognize have contributed to the devolution journey and can be leaders in their respective sectors to encourage other people to participate and exemplify service delivery at a devolved level. Prior to the devolution conference, we had a children's devolution conference. That was very unique. It brought young people together to discuss their aspirations on devolution. What is it that they expect from devolved functions? What is it they expect from those who have been elected, even if they are not eligible to vote, so that we can understand the expectation of the future generation. One of my contributions is in strengthening of systems and structures. You have heard what we're doing with Marifa Center that takes very key lessons from various counties on successes, trailblazers, and translating that across all other counties, and ensuring that we're providing a framework for peer-to-peer learning. And that has helped significantly improve service delivery in the counties. And on matters welfare, the Ugatuzi Circle cuts across all counties. And this circle was set up to support our staff and those who work within the county governments with financial services. We came up with the G7. We said that, yes, we started with first 3 female governors, and now we are 7. And I wanted to play a role in ensuring that that gain is not reversed, that after these 5 years, we will see more women governors elected. And the reason that we have the G7 program now is, one, to highlight the achievements that women governors have achieved, and to send a message mostly to the electorate that women governors can be elected and they can deliver. Another achievement during my tenure is that we managed to develop a 5-year strategic plan for the council, which is runs from the year 2022 to 2027. And the objective of the strategic plan is to strengthen governance and accountability and transparency in service delivery. On other things other than sector forums, we have had programs that have been very unique during my tenure. The UHC, for example, the President and the National Government Ministry of Health and the county governments, and we're all aligned on the new delivery of the universal healthcare, which will start being implemented from this coming month. We have managed to get most of our counties past the FIF laws at county level, which is the Facility Improvement Fund. And this is supposed to help counties generate revenue from the health sector, but also ensure that those revenues are secured and used within the health sector to improve both the facilities and the human resource service and provision of medicine, etc. And we can say about 41 counties have managed to pass the FIF law. We've also managed to improve provision of primary health care through what we call the CHPs, the community health promoters. We're doing that with the national government, where we provide a stipend for these people who volunteer or work at primary healthcare level, for level 1 and 2s mostly, and within the communities, and within a framework that we call the community health networks, which also we have established at every level of the counties. Another program that is very critical for counties and that we expect will translate into increased welfare, better welfare for communities, is the agricultural programs that we have managed to implement. There is the NAV CDP, and then we have also the FSRP program. And both of those programs, we have managed to get resources for them, an estimate of 40 billion shillings that is going to the counties for the next 5 years. And we expect that it will translate to improved agricultural output, and more than that, also increasing the welfare of farmers at the county level. I'm very proud of the achievement, especially for this, because it's increased resources under the conditional grants at county level. We also have another program that has been very critical to many counties called the Kenya Urban Support Program. And under this program, we have secured $350 million, which is about 44 billion shillings that is going to counties. Most of these counties have municipalities and urban areas, and comes to about 71 municipalities and about 4 cities that are benefiting from that program. And the program works specifically to improve infrastructure in those counties, building roads, facilities like fire stations, improving the infrastructure to make these municipalities move from the level of just urban areas to municipalities. Finally, on the programs, we have one on climate change, which we built on from COP28 and COP29, which is called FLOCA. And under that program, we have managed to get the role and the involvement of subnational governments in the whole conversation on climate change, and also in developing action plans that can be implemented at local level. In all our counties, we have set up climate change units, and we have also passed laws in most of our counties for the same. One of the greatest challenges that I've encountered and has been encountered by my predecessors was the attempt to claw back on devolution. That has really been a challenge. You're always making 2 steps forward and then you take another step back. Another challenge has been the shrinking fiscal space. As you know, every year there is inflation, there is number of people who require services increase. However, our growth trajectory in the amount of resources that we receive at county level has not been commensurate. The other challenge is the difficulty that has been with trying to anchor COG into law. The law recognizes the Council of Governors, all right, but in terms of being in the law so that it can be funded both concurrently by the National Treasury and the county governments has been a challenge. The final challenge is the balance between the politics of the day and safeguarding devolution. My words of advice to my successor is always be focused on devolution and why the council exists. Always ensure that you're bringing all stakeholders on board so that we minimize on the friction and resistance. Sometimes it looks like you're giving in, but be extremely strategic in ensuring that you achieve the objectives that you set out to achieve. and finally ensure that every county feels that it has been represented and that their needs have been met, so that there is not at any one time that one county feels that it has been disenfranchised because of either another or because of our policy that we have put in place. If my successor does that, keep good relations with your peers, always respect the fact that you're first amongst equals, and that all governors are the same, at the same level, and you're being given the privilege to lead for a season, I think you will be successful.
Thank you very much. Well said, well executed. Above all, indeed, it is a legacy of the COG executive team. Can we clap for them? Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And now allow me to invite His Excellency Ambassador Stephen Showman, the Danish ambassador to Kenya, and at the same time, chairperson, Devolution Donor Working Group. Welcome.
Sound is on? Yeah, it's good. Honorable Chief Justice, the Chair of the Council of Governors, Speaker of the National Assembly, Speaker of the Senate, the Principal Secretary, State Department of Devolution, Excellency Governors, fellow development partners, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed a tremendous honor and privilege for me to join you here today on behalf of the Devolution Donor Group for the State of Devolution address and inauguration of the new leadership of the Council of Governance. I congratulate the Council of Governors for your tradition of peaceful, orderly transition from one leadership to another. We've just seen the video and we heard the intervention before. I think it's fair to say well done to the outgoing team. You have made many, many contributions that are indeed furthering devolution in Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that you certainly would agree that devolution is truly transformational, and there are many cases of success across 47 counties in Kenya. Again, the video was very, very strong on that point. Now, we in the Devolution Donor Working Group are very proud to associate ourselves with the success, and we are keen to continue this partnership, this long-standing partnership. So as Kenya continues its journey of devolution, now in its 14th year, it is indeed also an opportunity to reflect a little bit what can be enhanced. The video touched upon challenges. I will do it now by raise a couple of questions that perhaps is a to-do list to the new, or contribution to a to-do list to the new leadership team, or at least something that we should all reflect upon. So here's the questions. On public financial management, what more should be done to enhance accountability? On public participation, which is a constitutional requirement, what lessons can be learned from efforts that have been made so far? How can it be made more meaningful and inclusive? On coordination across and within service delivery, what more can be done to facilitate peer learning? On inter- and intra-governmental relations, what should be done to deepen these relations and to promote equitable service delivery? On legislation, What more can be done to provide the appropriate legal regime for deepening devolution and implementing the laws that are already existing? And on peer learning, what more can counties do to have more of this to promote indigenous capacity building? On own source revenue, what more can counties do to fulfill the significant potential to generate more income from within own counties? Now, as I said, answering these questions requires some consideration, and it for sure requires the input from all members of the devolution family. And I'm confident that if we work together, we shall indeed find appropriate answers and solutions and thereby deepen devolution. The Devolution Sector Working Group is by all measures a viable forum for such discussions, and we as development partners stand ready to offer our perspectives and continue to work with you on this. In conclusion, I believe that devolution is irreversible, and with the right approaches, we can do much more, and we can certainly do better. So let me wish the new leadership, the new team that are the Council of Governance, the very best on my and the group's behalf. I wish you good luck in implementing your important mandate. Asante sana. Thank you so much.
Asante, let us appreciate Ambassador once again. Our chief guest, now allow me also to invite the PS State Department of Devolution, Madam Teresia Mbaika. Tumpigie makofi mazuri akija.
Our chief guest today, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, the chairperson, Council of Governors, all governors present, senators present, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It gives me great pleasure to join you all here today as we take stock of progress devolution has made over the years, recognizing that our journey is filled with both achievements and challenges. Indeed, devolution has been a beacon of hope for many, representing the promise of more responsive governance, increased local participation, and equitable distribution of resources. The State Department for Devolution is committed to the realization of its mandate of providing harmonious intergovernmental relations, building capacity, and providing technical assistance to county government for effective service delivery in this devolved system of government. To this end, allow me to state some significant milestones we have achieved in the advancement of our mandate. We have developed the Devolution Policy 2024 that is currently awaiting approval by the Cabinet for implementation. The policy embodies our commitment to refining our approach to devolution, ensuring that it remains relevant and effective in serving diverse needs of our counties. We have also made strides in enhancing public engagement through the Public Participation Policy 2023, which is already in action, laying the groundwork for the forthcoming Public Participation Bill of 2024, which is currently before Parliament. This legislation aims to create a robust framework for citizen engagement in development, decision-making, and leadership and accountability. It is vital that every Kenyan has a voice in shaping our community's future, and this bill is a significant step towards that goal. We also recognize that civic education is crucial for empowering our citizens to address this. We have developed the National Civic Education Framework, validated through extensive consultations with both state and non-state actors. This framework is now awaiting Cabinet approval and is poised to provide a comprehensive, coordinated approach to civic education across the country.